The Pearly King is dead.
What?
Long live the Queen of the Scots, Dominic Diamond, a man who swallowed his pride and said, you know what? McDonald's is actually alright now. I don't mind them at all. I had one of those Big Macs and I decided that I will actually do Series 4 for the extra amount of money that you've put in front of me. Audiences up and down the country rejoiced, thankful that the leader of the nerds had returned to their screens dressed as some sort of archbishop who'd forgotten his fancy hat. We leave behind the cheap and cheerful misery of Series 3's prison setting, and this time we're going straight to hell with a series that promises to never give us another tournament ever again. Let's dig in.
Welcome to a new series of GamesMaster. I'm Dominic Diamond, I'm back, and I'm grumpy.
The grumpy guy's story's starting to come into focus a little bit here.
So let's go over to GamesMaster for the first challenge of this gorgeous new series.
Greetings, one and all. I searched feverishly for a suitable...
Jesus Christ, I hope they turn this reverb down for future episodes. A new series means new exciting games though, so let's see what's first on the plate.
The Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, now Duff, we'll start with you. Now, you had a bit of an unpleasant experience with a slightly dodgy import copy of Mortal Kombat 2. What happened?
Yeah, I was playing as Shang Tsung.
Oh man, I literally haven't heard someone mispronounce Shang Tsung since the mid-90s.
Shang Tsung.
Just listen to it.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung sounds like a Chinese immigrant brought up in Yorkshire but with a Liverpudlian accent.
Shang Tsung.
I can't stop listening to it. It's the most nostalgic mispronunciation I've ever heard. When people say things were better back in the old days, this is exactly what they meant.
Shang Tsung.
This exact thing. People saying Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Let Mortal Kombat begin.
Shang Tsung. And I did the backflip and he stopped halfway. Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Finally, Daniel, do you ever feel like Cilla Black?
Once a month, yeah.
Once a month.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm glad Dominic's back with his banter. I don't know what his banter means, but I'm glad we're not just watching a Cockney look scared and confused before shouting and whistling.
Mr. Baraka, sir, is it okay to shake your hand, Mr. Baraka, sir? Okay, lovely. Thank you for coming on. We know you're a busy man. Let's take a look at these weapons you've got there, Mr. Baraka. Look at these. That's pretty scary. Bit of a problem picking the old nose, though, I'd imagine, though?
Not at all.
Although I've got to say, Andy Crane had better banter with Baraka. Which does make you wonder how many other appearances Baraka had on children's TV back in the 90s, while America was having a shit show about violence in video games.
Instead of enriching a child's mind, these games teach a child to enjoy digitized characters.
Shang Tsung.
Britain's here inviting knife-knuckled demon spawn to entertain the children. Our first challenger fluffs his challenge, but the second fight, right? Lads, listen to this. The second fight is actually entertaining to watch.
Now it's time for Daniel to try his luck. Best of luck, Daniel. Here we go. Right, Baraka's on the left, Kung Lao on the right. You see the energy bars at the top of the screen. Off they go. Oh, lovely spinning move there, followed by a half throw. What a great start for Kung Lao. Oh, but he's right into next time. Oh, right into those slice and dice. Now this is more of a fight, Hutch, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're seeing all the special moves coming into play.
Baraka's coming back strongly. And then,
Oh, we saw the teleport just then.
and there's a bloke with a cloak on at the back.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually an Avon lady.
How did you hold this witness?
That's right. But Kung Lao is really laying into
Baraka's
Baraka
energy's
now.
low. Oh, let's
Right,
get the
going
face
in
through.
with
We're going to see
special
the special move. It's the...
Entertainment generally only happens once a series, so you might think they've already spent the load. But even the match after this is fun to watch.
So, Katana's the girl in the blue on the right, Baraka still has his skull and white grubby vest on the left. Oh, first blood to Katana there.
Right, here comes the
Oh,
fan.
that was that fan. And
There goes the
throws it.
fan toss. Great combo move.
Got him right between the toes there, Hutch.
That's right. It looks very painful indeed.
Oh, it's fan crazy a hoist.
Hey, she's a number one fan.
Caught him somewhere with a sun don't shine there.
It's fantastic out there.
That was a good joke, that was.
Oh, look, this is a close one, Hutch.
Baraka's coming back.
Oh, another great fan move there. Oh, my
Something
God.
special here.
Katana's caught it. Oh, and this is it. Katana could be over. And what's Baraka doing here? He's giving her a present. It's a friendship move.
This is a shock to the system, let me tell you.
Daniel, you sliced him in half. In the end?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, the less said about that the better then, but congratulations Daniel, because he's won the first GamesMaster Golden Joystick of the series!
And there it is. We're back onto the stats, so I'll keep track of this one. Don't worry, boys and girls, I've got it in the bag. One golden joystick. I can remember that. And look, I've even got a new cockerel primed and ready for a big, fat, sexy number. But in the meantime, let's take a look at Alien vs Predator on some system or other.
You can play 3 different characters. You can be an alien, a predator, or a marine. With the marine, you get tooled up with some excellent weapons, you've got some great guns, and you get some really creepy moments as you walk around this rather dark and eerie space station.
Walking around the space colony, you don't get to see that many aliens or predators. They're really rather spaced out, and when they do come and attack you, they're normally in groups of 3 or 4. This does tend to make for rather boring gameplay, as you're just walking around with absolutely nothing to do.
Alien vs Predator has a lot of problems, but I think they're sort of eased by the overall size of the game and the amount of challenge that's there. It's probably the only thing in the Jaguar that's actually worth the cost of the cartridge, and it's certainly better than things like Trevor McFur.
Okay, well, we're back to the reviews not really lining up with the final scores again. I genuinely thought they were going to slap a 65% on this one, but nope, 83%. I guess that's probably fine. It's also literally the only game to have gotten 83% so far, so that's exciting, isn't it? Is it? I think it might be. It's certainly more exciting than Balls, which is fucking shite. But hold your horses. Dom, why no cock jokes yet?
A few years ago I would have made some pathetic joke about this title, but I'm grown up now, you'll be pleased to hear.
Oh no. Please don't tell me I brought the cockerel out of retirement for nothing.
The characters are particularly quirky in Balls. There's ostriches, clowns, strongmen, scorpions, and they all have attack patterns and special moves that sort of relate to the kind of character they are. This works quite well, and it makes for a bit of a novelty, along with obviously the 3D aspect of the game.
It's fluid, it's fast, it's like Virtua Fighter, very difficult to control, and it takes a long time to get used to, but once you do, it's actually really good fun.
Wrong. 80% for that cack. No Balls apologists in the chat, please. It's been universally decided it was a terrible mistake. Up next is the 40th tennis game of the year, Smash Tennis.
All the shots are under your fingers. You've got buttons for lobs, you've got slices, top spin, all sorts of play. You can play at the net, you can play at the back of the court, doubles, singles.
Tennis things in a tennis game. Astonishing stuff.
On a rainy Saturday night, this would probably be an ideal game. You can invite some of your friends around, plug a multi-tap in, and away you go.
What's this face? Why are you pulling this face? What's this face for? Also, 95%. Fuck me. They've unlocked some sort of score multiplier for this series. That's now the joint second best game ever reviewed. And also, the top 4 games reviewed are all sports games. I can guarantee at least 75% of these reviewers went on to write an article lamenting the yearly sports game cycle. You sewed, boys. You sewed your little cotton socks off and then you reaped yourself to sleep. Celebrity guest time in the game.
For my second challenge.
Jesus fucking Christ. Turn that reverb down. The game is Super Sidekicks 2 on the Neo Geo, and that can only mean we've got another football man I don't know.
Because it's the first show in the series, we're in an extra special guest type situation. Please welcome the star of My Blue Heaven, Gag Tag, Do the Right Thing, and Fantasy Football. All these shows and not one DAS commercial inside. Frank Skinner!
Okay, well technically it is a football man, but I do know him. It's just a different kind of football man.
Now, Frank, I was just...
It's a sort of a gothic Tiswas, isn't it? I love it.
What was it like to work with the legend that is Terry Wogan?
Meaning what, exactly?
Please welcome Hugh Williams. Okay, now Hugh, Frank's obviously from Fantasy Football. You're playing a football game tonight. Who do you support? Right, while I advise Frank on suitable pension plans, we'll take a quick commercial break.
You'll all be pleased to know that the best reviewer from Series 3 is now back in action as a commentator for Series 4. Let's see what insights he can give us on football game number 483.
Brad, give us some tips on what's the best way of scoring on Super Sidekicks 2.
I think what you got to do here, Dominic, is you're going to have to get hold of that ball, keep hold of that ball, and whack it in the net. That's the bottom line, really, mate.
Very clever one there, Brad.
Yeah, just kick the ball, lads. Aim for the net.
Now, Brad, each team's got a couple of special players.
That's correct, mate. When each of the teams have an ace player, that player is your best striker. He gets within the scoring distance, he's going to whack it in there, and he's going to score. Chance, here we go. What he's got to do is...
Oh, it's in! It's 1-0 to Brazil already!
So the guy that pulling shots to like I say, I'm getting another chance to boom. Check it in. That's the equaliser.
And here's player now. He's got a chance to get in the corner. Boom!
I mean, there's a lot going on with the shooting, and they clearly know how to do that, but no one seems to have taught them how to do the keepers. They might as well just have open goals.
Just outside the box there. He's got to shoot, he shoots.
I'm fairly confident the ref wouldn't end a match as the ball is headed toward a goal. Jesus wept. Penalty o'clock it is.
Oh, it's a save!
Here we go.
Then Brazil have won. Penalty.
Which way, mate? Which way to go in here?
He's going right for the keeper again. Here. Oh, he's saved it! Goalkeeper! It's a Chris Waddle. It's very tense here.
The golden joystick depends on it.
Goalkeeper spreading himself. Oh, it's a save! Keeper! Now, once more, if Hugh Williams Brazil scores this, they have won. It's very tense here. They line up.
So that is now 3 Mortal Kombat fights, and then a football match of all things, and somehow, some way, it's all been fun to watch. There's even been actual skill on display, or at least an entertaining result, and I'm starting to wonder if Series 3 had to burn at the altar so that Series 4 could rise from the ashes, because apart from the fact they keep banging on about Mortal Kombat 2 every chance they get, everything about this so far has been a massive improvement on what came before. I actually feel alive for once. Straight over to the final challenge then, it's Earthworm Jim, because surely we can't have any more Aladdin, and it's time for more patented Dominic Diamond bants.
We were talking beforehand about crisps, funnily enough, weren't we? And remind us, what's your favourite type of crisps again?
It has to be cheesy Wotsits.
Okay, right.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be funny, or if it was an inside joke, or if people genuinely were that interested in crisps back then. Well, let's put confusion aside, because it's time to talk about Dave Perry. Not that one, the other one.
Earthworm Jim is the latest creation from official rich bloke Dave Perry, the man responsible for Aladdin and Cool Spot. Jim starts off as an earthworm, finds a spacesuit and gets transformed into a superhero.
It's funny how much the topics are mirroring Bad Influence at this point. Both shows were obsessed with Mortal Kombat and Earthworm Jim, and both had extended features on those games. It's quite obvious that, at least where Shiny was involved, they had their fingers in the UK TV pie. And that's made no more obvious than when Diamond hands over this big plastic figurine to the winner's complete bemusement.
Well, listen, Tim, this, my friends tell me, and a lot of them are figurine experts, is a maquette of Earthworm Jim. It's actually worth a lot of money, and the Shiny boys have made it up for us especially. And so you are going to get that, actually. You can buy a lot of cheesy Wotsits for that.
And that's the end of the first episode. A very positive beginning, but absolutely no cock jokes whatsoever. So I give this episode 2 out of 10. Moving on. Episode 2, and look, even the minions are more fun than the previous series. They're doing a funny little dance. How is everything suddenly better? Apart from the fact that they keep playing the same games, but I'll give them their due. This is a version of Road Rash I don't think they've played yet. And also it's Road Rash, and you can never complain about Road Rash. Let's meet our first contestant.
Now, Mehmet, if you could be any famous person at all in another life, who would it be?
Probably Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs. Why Ryan?
Because he really fancies his brother's wife. In a change to the format, instead of going straight into the challenge, we jump into a news feature, and you know what that means. It's going to be Mortal Kombat, isn't it?
First up, Mortal Kombat 2 has smashed all sales records, shifting 250,000 copies in just one day, Mortal Friday. That represents 1/4 of all video games sold that whole month. Worldwide sales are now over 2.5 million and climbing. Not higher than Mr. Acclaim's wallet, however.
Most of this news is boring, apart from this seedy online swap shop.
Finally, we're pleased to announce the arrival of the GamesMaster Network, especially helpful for people who have no friends. All you need is a PC, a modem, and a phone. Give your modem these commands. Make that coin and phone connection and dial this number. Then you'll be through to the TV net. You can sell or swap games with other GamesMaster viewers, find out the latest cheats and tips, or or just chat with other friends.
Did anyone in the entire country ever do this? I really want to know about the time you met a big bearded man with a bin bag full of SNES games down a dark alleyway so you could swap your copy of Super Metroid for a copy of Dragon's Lair. Back to Road Rash. Now Challenger isn't exactly an expert.
Well, if he can just maintain his position, then he should be okay.
Oh no, but he's going to have to watch. That was the kiss of death from Simon. Oh, he eats dirt there at the side of the road. He's going to lose some places here, Simon. It was not a major contribution to road safety, that. Okay, so he's back in 10th place now. On the road overtaking him because he's going slow. He's down to 12th, Simon. What can he do to catch up? What would you recommend?
Well, I think he should just concentrate on getting to the end first. Forget about punching him because it doesn't really do him any favours in the long run.
He's definitely not going to do it.
They're slim like these two are. A little bit of a smile there from Mehmet. Nice to see. And he's up to 8th position, up to 7th position now. He could still do it, Simon. He's been going for 2.2, 2.3 miles. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I don't really fancy his chances, to be honest with you. I think he's got a long way to go, still in 6th.
No chance.
Okay, he's in 6th, but there's a big clutch of riders up ahead of him. He's not too far away from the end of the race, though. He could really do it. This is important. There's the cops. Is he going to punch him? He's not punching the cops.
That's a wise move, I think.
Obviously not a straight boy. He's up to 5th place. 4th place now. Sydney. He's just past Sydney. He's got a bit of C there for some bizarre reason. In 4th place. Past the Cottonmore. He's up to 2nd now, Simon.
Yeah, now he missed the pedestrian.
He's just going to take this guy. He's in 1st place. Just around the squad. He's going to win it. I think he's going to do it, Simon. Yeah. He's coming right. There's the checker flag. He crosses the checker flag.
Oh, he did it.
Now, Mehmet, a bit of a shaky start there, I have to admit, but you came through in the end. What were some of the difficult bits in it?
Early on, men's too sharp.
I'm sorry, what?
Men's too sharp.
Men's too sharp.
Men's too sharp.
Ben's too tarp.
Men's too sharp.
Oh, Ben's too sharp. Why is he suddenly talking like he just got programmed this morning? Anyway, Golden Joystick one, time for reviews, and it's Shaq Fu. For the love of God, give it a kicking, will you?
Characters are very fluid, and they look like real fighters, and the moves they use look more realistic than any game I've seen. And also, they're so small.
Games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat that feature big sprites.
Shaq Fu is apparently 3% better than King's Quest V for those keeping count. Keeping with basketball bollocks, here's Michael Jordan's Scooby-Doo adventure.
As a platform game, it's got the novelty of not having to jump on people's heads, but instead you use your basketball to get rid of the baddies. The baddies themselves are quite strange, as giant spiders and other seemingly weird people with basketballs for heads.
Michael Jordan's looks very good. All the sprites move lovely and the movement's great.
Why are you so angry?
There seems to be a trend at the moment involving basketball players in sort of unrelated games. Platform fans would be better off looking somewhere else, and basketball fans would be better off with something like NBA Jam.
60%, GamesMaster's own number for bog standard average. What's the next basketball starring shitfest then? Oh, Inferno. I presume Dennis Rodman's piloting the spaceship or something.
I want to talk about that. That's a touchy, so I don't want to talk about that. That's one thing I won't talk about. Anything else I talk about, but that's one thing I won't talk about.
With over 700 missions, well, stages actually, that you can access during the evolutionary period of the game, this is very in-depth and will take up a lot of your time. If you're into these sort of games, then this is obviously for you. Go out and buy it now.
Couldn't have done any worse than the last two. 80% it is. Let's see what the celebrity challenge is.
I've selected something just a little different for our second challenge tonight.
Is there an echo in here or what?
The 3-player beat-em-up Dragon on the Super Nintendo.
Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Yuck. Are we going to get someone entirely random paired up against this one as today's guest?
Dragon, today we have a cornucopia of Antipodean soap legends. Please welcome Bruce Roberts, Sarah Vandenberg and Dan Falson.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Right, let's start with you, Bruce. I'm always interested in getting gossip on the Australian soaps. Who was the most unpopular person in the home and away cast?
A guy who came in to play the veterinary surgeon once and told Ben and Carly that their chickens had chicken cholera. I'd say he was the most unpopular.
I never liked Matt Stevenson, because I'll say one thing about you, Bruce. You had very good hair for home and away.
I have very good hair.
Yeah, most other people in home and away had really bad hair, like Matt Stevenson, a really lank kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I never liked him.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, they're all chipping in now. They're all dissing your show. Let's go into you now, Sarah. Over here, with all due respect to Bruce, Neighbours is seen as slightly superior to home and away. Why is that, do you think?
Just slagging off guests directly to the face. This is definitely the start of Dominic's mean streak.
And Helen Daniels.
Oh, of course.
With her amazing heart attack, which made her mouth turn go like that.
Regardless, watching three soap stars play identical characters fight in a game that nobody even wants to see anyway, well, it's certainly difficult to enjoy watching, I'll put it that way.
Nice double kick by Dan, that was in fact in the red shorts. And Dan's doing very well at the moment.
I have no idea what's happening.
Must admit the teamwork was a bit lacking, and as for you, Sarah, you started off brilliantly, then you went all Helen Daniels after a while.
I get the feeling Dominic's soap knowledge starts and ends with Helen Daniels. The final challenge of the day is overhyped garbage beat-em-up Primal Rage. I don't have high hopes for an exciting match on this one because, well, it's Primal Rage.
Well, listen, is there any types of games that you don't like?
Beat-em-ups, especially this one.
Okay, well, I want this lad to win because he knows what's what.
Let's move on to Udio. What do you like doing when you're not playing video games?
I know, listening to music, hanging out, things like that.
Hanging out of moving vehicles or?
No, going to discos, things like that.
What sort of music are you into?
Rap.
Well, that was the worst pre-match interview ever, so he deserves to lose. Let's watch how this crap game was boringly made.
This just might be the battle of your life. Are you ready for Primal Rage?
Yes, Primal Rage, the biggest arcade beat-em-up of the year, has arrived from the States where it's been pooing on the opposition with some of the smartest graphics ever seen anywhere. But how did they get them looking so gorgeous?
Stop motion animation, a technique used in the production of major motion picture special effects.
Okay, number 17.
Righto.
That is just one out of hundreds of individual pictures that make a fight sequence. The combination of these tiny precision movements will eventually make Talon jump, kick, and punch.
Starting on a wee piece of paper, the artist designed all these wacky dinosaurs. But who did they get to bring them to life? Spielberg? Lucas? No, Dan Platt. You know, Dan.
Dan Platt has made a career of making movie monsters. Dan turns detailed illustrations into skillfully sculptured works of art.
He also pulls lots of birds.
That was a bit harsh.
Enough of all that, though. You've all been waiting for it, and the moment is finally here.
Dave's got his duty. Dave's got his duty. Dave's got his duty on.
I'll be thinking, looking at you with a bandana, you look a bit like one of those Japanese kamikaze pilots.
Fine welcome back for Dave there. I'm sure their relationship is going to go from strength to strength from here on out.
Okay, we have got Edo playing Blizzard, who's the sort of white monkey-looking fellow on the left, and we've got Paul playing Diablo, who's the kind of
Already Blizzard goes into his special moves, throws Diablo, he went in, grabbed him by the throat, spun his fist around and sent him spiralling into the air.
Now we can see two energy bars up at the top, Dave. What's the difference between those?
There's two energy bars, one with a beating heart, that's obviously his life force, that's how much life is left in him in this battle. The other one with the brain, that's how much intelligence the fighter's got left. If he takes too many strong blows to the head, his intelligence will go down and he'll slow up, he'll be able to do less moves.
So it's like the game brain.
Like the game brain, yes.
Well, let's wrap that up. Unfortunately, this lad won, just to add to everyone's disappointment.
Paul, if your performance was a bag of crisps, what flavour would it be?
Probably plain, because I couldn't get my special moves pulled off.
Very good answer. I was going to say empty bag.
What is going on in Dominic's mind? What is he banging on about? Right, that's the end of this.
I'm off to tell kids at boarding school that their parents hate them.
All right, Dom, you do that. That's the end of this episode, so I guess we'll find out what crisps people like in the next episode. I don't know. I don't care. Episode 3 it is, and unfortunately the first challenge is on a 3DO game no one has ever seen before, because no real-life human being has ever touched a 3DO before this event.
Chris, we'll start with you. What's been your hairiest game-playing moment?
Well, it's probably when the power went off when I was like a centimetre away from completing Zelda.
Wow, that is good going though. I normally only make it about 473 centimetres through Zelda, though I did go to school with a lad who reckoned he could do 3 kilometres blindfolded.
James, what about your hairiest game-playing experience?
Oh, fainted once.
Well then, moving on, let's check out the news. It's Lion King time, and as such, very loud copyrighted music plays over the entire thing. Thankfully it tells us nothing and lasts about 20 seconds, so straight on to the next one.
Appearing in a shop near you now, the first affordable virtual reality headset, CyberMax. If you've got a PC, you can ride this virtual ghost train in the comfort of your own home.
Bless them. They really tried to get VR out there in the 90s, and they've only partially been successful successful at doing it even 30 years later. Maybe in another 30 years' time people will finally accept that gluing a screen to your eyeballs is a lot of fun.
Hey, look, it's Swindon on a summer's day. No, it's not. It's actually Dino Island.
You got me good there.
Does a giant creature lurk below these peaceful waters?
No, of course it doesn't. But with the lack of a decent football team, it's nice that we Scots have got something Americans will believe in. And it gives me the chance to meet yet more attractive birds.
Through sonar, we've been able to locate what we believe to be Nessie's lair. But there was a new twist. She appeared to have eggs.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Hill.
The rescue operation will be conducted using advanced submersibles. These will be operated by teams of 6 volunteer scientists. The team will consist of a commander who leads the team and navigates, a pilot who actually maneuvers the vehicle through the lock, 2 robotic arm operators who will pick up the eggs and other objects.
Weirdly, again, this exact thing was featured in Bad Influence. Who copied who? I'm going to say GamesMaster copied Bad Influence, because Bad Influence feels like the kid who would do all of their homework, and GamesMaster feels like the kid who wore a bomber jacket and stood outside smoking a fag before class. It's not a scientific way to work out who copied who, but it definitely feels more natural to do it this way. I don't remember Andy Crane calling anyone an attractive bird, though.
However, I fancied the crew more than our chances. And the news here is that Simon Byron's riding shotgun with me for this one. What can you recommend our players to do on this?
15 seconds in, there should be a power-up appearing, which, if he can collect, would boost his firepower, so it's worth going for.
Wow, that's the limpest advice provided by a commentator I've ever seen, and I don't blame him for that. I think the game is just shite and no one really cares.
So off goes James at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You can see his energy level. That's not going to alter much in his time challenge, though. More importantly, at the top of the screen, you can see his score. He's got 21,930 points so far. Not a bad start, Simon.
Very good, very good.
Okay, and he's getting somewhere. He's up to 58,000 now. This power-up's going to appear soon.
There it is, there's a power-up.
There's the power-up. If he can get us now, what's that, Simon?
That's going to boost his firepower, Dominic.
Okay, he's got increased firepower now, and he's making the most of it. He's up to 187,650 points. So he's over 210,000 now. He's really going great guns. This is a great performance, Simon.
It's also incredibly dark and difficult to see what's going on, so it's just as well none of us actually want to see it.
He's got about 3 seconds left. 2, 1. It's going to be very close. Stop the challenge.
And he has just done it with the last shot of the game. 385,510 points. Chris is the winner.
Well done, James. Well done, Chris. James.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris. You're a bit scared at all, or did you know you were going to win all the time?
No, I was quite surprised, really, because I had a bad beginning.
And everybody's all smiles, because Chris is going home with the GamesMaster Golden Joystick.
Reviews time, and it's Doom 2.
Doom 2 on the PC has an 18 certificate, so we can only show you the cute bits. Sorry, but rules are rules.
Hi, my name's Adrian, and I have a confession to make. I'm a Doomaholic.
That would explain why you keep pulling the Doom guy face.
It's very bloody, it's very violent, and it's very fast-paced. There are adventure elements, and there are loads of weapons to pick up, and there are loads of things you do have to figure out. But other than that, you pretty much shoot everything and find your way out of the level. It's excellent, but it's not really a sequel.
I'm sorry, but this frame rate is not doing the game any favours. 88% for Doom 2, that's going to rile a few folk up. I can annoy you even more by telling you that's 1% less than The Simpsons Escape from Camp Deadly on the Game Boy. Soak it up. Next, it's Ghoul Patrol.
If you remember Zombies Ain't My Neighbours, then you'll have a very good idea of what Ghoul Patrol is going to be like. It's maze action, very Gauntlet inspired. Run around, save the hostages, shoot the ghosts, get out of the level. Basically, there's too much roaming around, collecting things for my liking.
This isn't really as good as the first game. It's a bit too complicated, and some of the levels are far too large. You get lost very easily. The extra power-ups and the extra bonus items do add a little to the game, but there's really not much here to recommend it over the original.
70%, probably about right. Definitely not as good as the first. And now we've got a crap 3DO beat-em-up to enjoy.
It uses large digitised actors instead of sprites, but it's not very fluid. It's actually quite difficult to control the characters, and there doesn't seem to be much in the way of realism involved in the fighting.
It's a lot better looking than, say, Mortal Kombat 2 or Super Street Fighter. What Way of the Warrior really lacks is a strong, weighty feel. Each of the characters feels too light and airy.
For a game to be really smart on something like the 3DO, it's going to have brilliant graphics, brilliant sound, and it's going to have to move really quickly. And I'm afraid Way of the Warrior just doesn't do that.
Again, nothing but a slagging off. 72% score. 2% better than Toe Jam and Earl on the Mega Drive. I can tell you which one people are still playing now. Celebrity Challenge time, and for the 100th time, it's Jimmy White's Ball Banger. So, do we have another snooker player?
Now, when he was last on the show, both of us had a lot more hair, but I'm still pleased to welcome back the People's Champion, whirlwind Jimmy White.
Oh, it's literally Jimmy White again, and he's dressed as Jack Sparrow for some reason.
Right, now Jimmy, tonight you're playing against the machine. How's that going to be different than playing against, say, Stephen Hendry?
Well, a little bit different. I'm going to try and beat the machine by time. I'm going to put maybe a red and all the colours. Yeah. Hopefully faster than the machine.
Yeah. And probably the machine will be a bit more charismatic and have less spots than Stephen as well.
It's a nice guy. That's Scottish as well.
Christ, he really is going in with his teeth this series, isn't he?
We've got something of a first on GamesMaster today because Jimmy White is going to attempt a red-black colours clear-up in a faster time than the Mega Drive can do a similar clear-up on the actual Jimmy White snooker game. Helping me out is GamesMaster's own Andy Hutchinson. Andy, there's a lot of burning questions in snooker just now, probably the most flame-drilled of which is John Virgo funny?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Dominic.
To be fair to John Virgo, he was the funniest man on Big Break.
Where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going? Well, his heart would have been in his mouth. It's okay now. Where's the red ball going? That was a 2-1. Where's the cue ball going? Well, where's that cue ball going? Oh, well, it's gone in the middle, and that red will be left with the ball in hand. There's only a possible 5 frames to play now. As he plays a trick shot, 4 cushion black in the corner. Where's the black ball going? Where's the red ball going? Well, would you believe it? The things that can happen on a 12-foot snooker table. Where's that red ball going? He's got them. Where's the cue ball going? 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 Oh! Player, the other one we get to the semi-final stage. Where's this cue ball going?
Jimmy White wins the challenge!
Well, this proves that Jimmy White is better than a computer, and John Virgo doesn't know where the cue ball is going. After a quick stop by the consultation zone, where Jonathan Davis from Korn asked for some advice on Cybermorph, we go straight to the final challenge, and it's Top Hunter on the Neo Geo. Not a game I ever expected to see turn up on GamesMaster, but I'm all for it.
Now, you were trying to say that your favourite band is Ace of Base. Is that true?
No, I lied. It's actually Too Unlimited.
Good lie, well kept. I'm not sure why you lied, but he certainly went there.
Make sure your pets are locked safely indoors because Dave Perry is with us. Dave, now, I reckon there's 2 ways of going about this. Would I be correct?
That's right. There are 2 things our contestants can do. Firstly, they could, as they go through the level, they could beat up the characters they meet along the way and pick up the coins they get to collect more points. Or
your 1 minute begins now. Okay, at the top left of the screen, you can see the number of points they've got. He hasn't got anything yet, Jonathan. And there's an energy bar just below it, so you can keep track of how well he's doing.
That's right, he's just charging for the level at the moment. You can jump from foreground to background in this game. At the moment, he's sticking with the foreground and he's chosen to beat up the guys. That's good. That's full of jewels. That first chain. The second chain in the background there isn't worth pulling. It's just got time in it.
Right, up to 5,900 points now. 27 seconds gone. Nearly halfway through. How's he doing, Dave?
He's not doing too bad. He's missed a few guys. I'd like to have seen him beat them up and pick up the coins because obviously that's the thing he's chosen to do.
Particular bench, though, Dave.
That's right. I just want to see people get beaten up. There you are. He's got the transporter.
Right. Okay. 41 seconds gone. We're going to see some serious one-on-one action here now, Dave.
Absolutely. He's pretty well invincible in this transporter. He can just smash everything up that he encounters.
Because he's only got 10 seconds left. He's got 8, 7, 6. He's running out of time.
He's in the background. There's a lot of guys there.
5, 4, 3.
A lot of guys. Pull that chain.
1. Out of time. Stop the game. 9,400 points for Jonathan. Make way for Colin.
Pretty solid effort there. Let's hope his opponent can match it. Nope, he's dead.
But he must smash these guys up. No, he died.
He lost the life. He's
lost the life. He died. That's the end of his challenge.
Jonathan is the winner.
He's good, but he's just not good enough.
I think that is properly. We'll see you next show. Bye-bye.
Well, that's the end of that one. No crisps this time, and no cock jokes either, but plenty of talk about Fitbirds for the lads. So I guess we've hit peak 90s now. I can practically smell a Lynx Africa from here. Episode 4 it is, and the first challenge is Sonic the Knuckles 3 for the Sega Master Drive. And this lad's found a jazz rag in a bush that he's brought in to show Dom.
I'm quite keen on this one, Dominic.
Daniel, what about you then? What's your favourite?
I'd say this one, Dominic.
Let's see what Luke Skywalker's up to in the news segment.
Keep carving out new horizons for ourselves.
Yes, it's him, that bloke who was in that film and hasn't worked since 1980-something. Star Wars, that was it, yes. The 75-year-old Mark Hamill is starring in Wing Commander 3, the latest CD-ROM game to have loads of movie bits, iffy acting and cringing dialogue.
Yeah, well, people were dying out there, you son of a bitch.
Screw you. I'll bet you stay up late nights just polishing it up.
No, as a matter of fact, I have majors who do that for me.
The Colonel was a pilot who at all times flew hard, flew fast. But he was more than that. He was a man.
All our shields are down, we can't stop.
He was a man.
All our shields are down, we can't stop.
He was a man.
Down, 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 down.
Yeah, well, people were dying out there, you son of a bitch.
Down, 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 down.
Colonel was a pilot who at all times flew hard, flew fast. But he was more than that. He was a man.
Well, I'm sure the game will be brilliant. And talking of that bloke, this is the latest Star Wars game, Dark Forces. Using a similar engine to Doom, people who get their rocks off to this stuff claim it's even better than Doom 2 released yesterday. In February, you can find it for yourself. Into London arcades last week marks the latest Sega experience, Desert Tank. It's the latest game to use Sega's spanky Model 2 graphics as seen in Daytona Racing. If it looks very butch, that's because some military bloke helped make it.
I feel like Dommy's actually bored of gaming, where gaming is probably at its most exciting. Feels like he'd rather be at home watching Babe Station.
For 1 week, Dave Perry. Dave, give our challengers some tips here.
Well, because we're playing it to the Sonic and Knuckles carts, what our challengers are going to find they can do with the Knuckles character is they can glide and they can scale walls. They don't have to worry about jumping over them.
Okay, so Tom's warming up. See the time at the top of the corner of the screen. Rings aren't important, Dave, though.
They're not important. You're supposed to get to the end of the level as quickly as possible.
Okay,
so far he's not doing too bad, but that won't do him any good. Running into those springs is going to send him backwards, and he's lost some very precious seconds. Now he's got caught up on the swing.
It's gone now.
Caught up on the swing. He's lost himself about 5 seconds.
He could have actually gone a little bit quicker, I have to say.
But you want to be on that ground, picking up speed.
At this point, what would you recommend to speed him up, Dave?
To speed him up, basically just jump over everything. Here comes the boss. As soon as the flames come up, that's going to be the end of his challenge.
Now this is going. Oh dear!
He's lost all his rings. He could die if he's not careful.
This is going to separate the men from the boys. That's it. The flames are coming up. 51 seconds.
It's a bit weird to make the halfway point of the level the end of the challenge. Also, all of the skill of the first episode seems to have vanished at this point, because this second lad is beyond cack.
So, after Daniel is Knuckles, what do you think about Knuckles' hair there, Dave?
When he first appeared in Sonic 3, it was certainly a lot more spiky than that.
Yeah, he's looking a bit lank now.
Yeah, he's using a bit of wax, I think.
Alright, 15 seconds gone. Oh, there's those springs you were talking about.
He's lost a bit of time because he hit a baddie just now, and now he's run into a spring which has pushed him back, and already he's probably lost as much time as Tom.
I reckon they're pretty close. They're both as bad as each other, I think, so far, Dave.
I reckon. Dave, of course, he's losing him time.
I really can't watch this, Dave.
Oh, now he's lost it completely. He hasn't made it up the incline.
He's
Got back
got
on springs, a bit of propulsion.
Oh, dear. I'm off. I'm going. 48,
and now he can't get up the tube
50.
now either.
So, Daniel, stop the game.
Daniel-san, concentrate, focus, power.
Well done, Tom. Bad luck, Daniel. Now, Tom, that wasn't the closest of challenges we've had. Now,
I was worried up until the tree.
Tonight's golden joystick winner is...
Let's get on with the reviews, and it's Triple Trouble on the Game Gear, a Sonic game which everyone collectively forgot about, but it is actually a solid re-entry.
It's the usual Sonic fare: run around platforms, pick up rings, jump on springs and speed around with your red sneakers. It's great Great stuff.
Generally, I've never really liked Sonic games, you know, just too much tedious running to the left and right, picking up rings. But I found myself playing the Game Gear game for quite a while, actually, at least until the batteries run out. And you've got some great power-ups, you've got little jet boots and stuff, you've even got a snowboard. Cool, Sonic.
It's easily the best platform game on the Game Gear, certainly. It's got incredible graphics. It's more of the same old Sonic story. This one looks pretty close to the Mega Drive original, and I can't recommend it highly enough.
85% puts it 7% ahead of Sonic CD, and yes, actually. Straight onto Earthworm Jim, and it's bound to get over 90% because regardless of what you think of it, Shiny were most definitely in everyone's pockets in the 90s.
Got guns, he's got like, a fierce display of firepower just in this one tiny little gun. He can swing across bridges, he can jump huge chasms. Basically, this guy can do just about anything.
That's hyperbole.
It's got a very nice linear feel. You always know where you're going and you always know where you've got to get to. There's also bags of humour, lots of inventiveness, totally different perspectives, like the into the screen bit where you have to fly down tunnels picking things up.
There's so many puzzles you have to solve and so many different sub-games that you'll be playing this for weeks.
94%, no surprise there, but Bubsy 2 is next, and I cannot begin to tell you how much I fucking hate this cat. 50% max.
Bubsy as a character has certainly become more rounded. He's got a great line in patois and he's got some very funny wisecracks and ideas. But as a game, it's really not coming together. Half the time, you've got no idea where you're going.
You run from left to right, jumping over obstacles, leaping from platform to platform, often blindly, as you can't really tell where you're going. The game is, frankly, tedious, and it's certainly worse than its prequel.
Compared to the likes of Earthworm Jim, Bubsy 2 just doesn't stand up. Earthworm Jim's got a lot going for it, originality. Earthworm Jim can do just about anything.
They really do need to sort their scoring system out, although it may be a few decades too late for that at this point. Celebrity Challenge time, and it's the excellent Street Racer. So who have we got on the dance floor today?
They used to be the two heartthrobs in Biker Grove. Now, of course, they are rap stroke, dance stroke, funk stroke, death metal crossover legends. Please welcome PJ and Duncan.
Oh, it's PJ and Duncan out of Ant and Dec.
Okay, PJ, how do we rumble then?
Rumble?
Yeah.
You know it, Dominic.
No, I don't. Show me how to.
To the left like that.
Because we're all ready to do it now, and that's it.
That's it, really.
We showed you in rehearsals. I mean, you paid us to show you in rehearsals.
He's much better than us at this, I tell you.
Because the single was a massive hit. I'll ask you, Duncan, the other members of Biker Grove, did they hate you all because of the success of the single?
Yeah, pretty much so.
Oh, yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Is that because they're just generally like losers? Yeah?
No comment.
Because that girl with the ginger hair, she really hates you.
Oh, yeah, she hates Declan. I tell you.
Right, let's get ready to rumble.
Your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, everyone's got to be an AK lover. He died as well.
Brad Burton will continue to be the greatest man on this show, the unsung hero of just being a completely normal, awkward man.
In the last lap, Duncan is up to 6th place, so now PJ is still back in last place. PJ, get a grip, man. You know what I mean? I mean, if the guy could drive as good as he can rap, you know the deal, anyway, Duncan. So Duncan is in 6th place, and PJ's been up to 7th though now.
RC's called it a day now, Dominic. He's bought a beauty come
He's up to 5th now. He's up finishing 3rd. That was a brilliant finish there from Duncan, who finished in 3rd, and in comes PJ in 7th.
This was not a good advert for Street Racer.
Now, PJ, you do know that's probably the easiest challenge that we've had in the whole series.
I'm just terrible at it, that's really it. If you had a beat 'em up or something like that, I'd be alright.
But we didn't.
No, you blatantly put a racing game on, didn't you, Dominic? You know I'm not very good.
Yeah, putting Ant McPartlin behind the wheel has never ended particularly well. This week we have a feature about Sonic. Again.
Excuse me, please. Can I ask you a quick question? About Sonic the Hedgehog. What's he on about? What's he doing?
The sun is not there.
That was the only person in the world who doesn't know who Sonic is. Or maybe she's forgotten because she's old. With the release next week of Sonic v Knuckles, even pensioners will have no excuse. Sonic's first appearance was in 1991 when Sega finally unleashed the character to rival Mario. Struggling manfully against the evil schemes of Dr. Robotnik and pursuing a strange obsession with rings to the delight of innuendo writers everywhere, the adorable tyke was an instant hit with 4 million copies sold. Sonic's next outing was in the obscurely titled Sonic 2.
This is literally just a Sonic advert. He's just listing Sonic games. I don't understand what this feature is meant to be.
Yes, undeterred by the enormous profits generated so far, Sega courageously went ahead and released Sonic 3. With split-screen play, battery-safe options and masses of levels, Sonic 3 was widely regarded as the best Sonic title to date. Sonic 3 also saw the debut of Knuckles, the naughty little echidna who messed up Sonic's life.
Sega TV!
1993 also saw the release of Sonic Spinball. Sonic CD, Sonic the arcade game, and the most original release in terms of gameplay, Sonic 3-Minute Pasta.
Do you know who Sonic the Hedgehog is?
I beg your pardon?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I haven't a clue.
Today's final challenge will feature Sonic's latest fluffingly, money-spinningly outing. Let's go over to GamesMaster to find out what it is.
What better way to end this Sonic Spectacular than with a challenge on the game at the heart of the commotion, Sonic and Knuckles.
But we already had a Sonic challenge. Why is this entire episode all Sonic-y? Apart from the bit with Ant and Dec. Why didn't Ant and Dec play Sonic R instead? Is it because it's absolutely wank? Probably, but regardless, this is a very confusing Sonic episode that I didn't realise was a Sonic episode until it got to the end.
Scott, we've seen you on GamesMaster before. You beat the Scottish Nintendo champion. And you are an Ice-T fan?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I like Ice-T.
Have you got a gang yourself?
No.
Alright, and Phil, finally, who's your most fanciable female?
Lauren from Neighbours.
And we actually had Lauren on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she said she quite fancied you as well, which is completely bizarre. Okay, right there, so...
I don't think I will ever understand the direction of these bizarre pre-match interviews.
Okay, off for Sonic. Oh, taking a bit of time to take those couple of rings there, she missed one.
Right. You've got to watch out for those butterflies floating up in the air. They can really...
Now she stopped to get a spin start there, Andy.
That's right. Yeah, you can really loop that loop.
Yeah, I'm bored of Sonic now. Skip to the end.
Okay, now we'll start with you, Sam. I thought that was quite a good score. Where did you go wrong, do you think? The good news is, of course, that you won the challenge. The bad news is, I said that Lauren actually fancied you. I actually got it wrong. It was actually me that she fancied. So I'm really sorry about that, Phil.
Well, that sure was banter. Next episode.
Welcome to GamesMaster Stadium for the final of the Video Games Cup. After 30 seconds, Fun is winning 3-0.
I'd like to think this was a dig at Series 3's tournament mode, but I actually think it was just an excuse for Dom to destroy a child's football. Disappointing, but not as disappointing as our first challenge, which is Echo the Dolphin.
Is it Robert Ford or Bobby?
It's Robert Ford.
Robert, do you not like being called Bobby, no?
Not at all.
It's just that there's an Oxford United player called Bobby Ford, bizarrely enough.
Well, that's why I don't like being called it.
You have impeccable taste, I have to say, Robert. Moving on to you, Adam. Echo 2 features a dolphin. Do you like dolphins?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What do you like about dolphins?
Where they swim.
That's quite nice. I love dolphins myself. I can eat 3 a week.
Aha, got him. News is up first, and Doom 2 has finally got the frame rate it deserves.
Doom 2 has become the fastest selling PC game ever, aided by a controversial ad campaign. It shipped over 100,000 copies in the UK and over 500,000 worldwide in its first week alone. If you think games like this are too violent, well, there's also versions waiting on the Jaguar, Apple Mac and 32X, so tough. Finally, the problem with the Neo Geo system was, although you got arcade-perfect versions of games like Super Sidekicks 2, World Heroes, and Windjammers, the games cost about 150 quid, so only spoilt brats could afford them. With the new Neo Geo CD machine, you can pick them up for 40 to 50 quid.
See, the Neo Geo CD was a great idea, but I still didn't know anyone who actually had one. I saw more arcade machines as a kid than I did Neo Geos.
THQ has gone fishing with the experts at BASS Inc. and the catch of the day is Bassmasters Classic for both Super Nintendo and Sega. It's a
shut your mouth. If you even think about buying a game this sad, all your mates will come around your house and fight you.
Okay, well I guess that's advert reel over and done with.
Right, now no challenge would be complete without the pitter-patter of Steve Merritt from Mean Machines. Steve, how do you like your dolphin served?
Porpoise grilled.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous, that does.
Why did you add porpoise to that sentence?
Steve, how do you like your dolphin served?
Porpoise grilled.
Did you just want to show that he knew the word porpoise?
Oh, that sounds gorgeous, that does.
Anyway, time to watch a miserable dolphin do boring stuff in a crap game. It's the kind of game Enya would do a soundtrack for.
The dolphin face plants rock, somehow survives a fall, then stung by jellyfish doesn't stop him at all. You may find this whole damn thing absurd, but then the dolphin goes and turns into a fucking bird. Dolphin turns into a bird, and then the bird gets hammered by some other birds. But now ladies, I'm talking about actual birds, not the birds that Diamond keeps talking about. Those are different birds.
Bird trouble.
Another golden joystick in the bag. At this point, they're literally just giving them away at every challenge, much like high scores in the reviews segment. Speaking of which, here's Lion King.
Lion King is easily the best Disney license yet. Not only is it fabulous characterisation, there's also a lot of interaction, not only with the jungle scenery, but also with other jungle animals. Like you have to jump on giraffes' heads and swing from rhinos' tails. And there's some lovely puzzle elements too, involving monkeys. I'll leave it at that at the moment.
Same animators that actually made the film have had a hand in making the game. You can tell this by the quality of the animation. It's absolutely superb.
It's probably a bit of a disappointment to people who were expecting something special. Where it really excels is graphics and sound. The animation's superb and the music's excellent. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as everything else.
Agreed. I have no idea why this game is held in such high regard, and 87% puts it in the same league as Elite 2 and Micro Machines, which is insane and wrong and bad. Mega Bomberman's next.
With 4 players, you can run around the mazes, bombing each other to your heart's content, bombing each other to your heart's content, bombing each other to your heart's content.
You ain't good for bumming.
At the start of the battle mode, you can actually choose what sort of character you're going to look like. You can either have a big roly-poly geezer, or you can have a tiny little one, or you can even have a policeman. It has no relevance on the game and how the players play, but it just looks great.
As a one-player game, it doesn't seem to stand up so well. I mean, it's still fun, but it really is a multiplayer game. Get as many mates around as you can, grab a joypad, and have a great game. You'll be there all night.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just Bomberman, innit? You've still got 4 more sequels in the tank before people realise it's the same game over and over again. Final game this week is Cluedo on the CDI. Dear God, why?
There are 3 scenarios on Cluedo on the CDI. Each one has its own dedicated piece of FMV. There are lots of character shots of each of the characters, like Colonel Mustard, Mrs. White, and basically once you've seen all these, you know, it starts to get a bit boring.
Tedious in the extreme. You have to wait while all this video goes on instead of just making the next move. And frankly, if you're sat playing board games on your telly, I think you really need to have a word with yourself.
Cluedo's a great game.
You think the murderer was Mrs. Peacock?
Finally, a score below 60% this series. The average score is now just a mere 78%, which, to be fair, is only 2% higher than the average of the entire set of scores the show has handed out so far. For anyone who loves counting, only 9 games out of 172 have gotten a score lower than 50%. And one of those was Street Gangs. No, I'm never letting that go. Celebrity Challenge time, and today they're playing FIFA 95, so it's got to be time for football men to come on. We've not had any proper football men all series.
And for our first semi-final, we're in a scorer-stopper situation. Please welcome Andy Cole and Casey Keller.
Got it in one. Now let's see if Dominic Diamond asks bitchy questions under the guise of comedy.
Now, Andy, I'll talk to you first of all. You're famous for your partnership with Peter Beardsley, right? Tell us in your own words what you think about Peter's dress sense.
Yeah, there we go. I'm starting to wish we had the old awkward Series 1 Diamond back, where he made cock jokes and stammered every third word that came out of his mouth. Series 4 has brought us this weird Dominic Diamond that just says, "Oh, you're good friends with Peter Beardsley, aren't you? Well, have you ever told him you think he's a massive cunt? Everyone thinks he's a prick. Do you think that? I bet you do, don't you? Ha ha ha. Just joking. Have you ever eaten crisps? I love crisps." And it all feels mean-spirited in a way that isn't particularly funny. It's just sort of toothlessly aggressive. But it has given me something to talk about while these guys play FIFA, because, as usual, it's fucking boring.
Well, Casey, tell us about that free kick that came out of nowhere.
Oh, Branko from the World Cup signed him up, got him to Seattle, hits the free kick, wins the game.
It was just in Seattle, a bit reminiscent of Millwall there with the set-piece goals.
Oh, of course, no problem. Happen all the time.
Now, Andy, for some bizarre reason, you lacked a killer instinct up front, really.
I did, yeah. I was a bit disappointing, you know. My teammates let me down for the first time, but not to worry.
And that Peter Beardsley, I blame him.
I won't blame him. It's a team game, you know.
Haha, yeah, Peter Beardsley's a cunt, isn't he? Just say it, Andy. Just say that right now. I want you to say that. Please say that. On to features then. It's Double Dragon 5, which I don't think I even realised was a thing. But then we get to talk about the greatest video game film that has ever existed.
Los Angeles. The city has changed. Cops rule the day. Punks rule the night. And one man wants to rule them all.
And who's out to stop him? None other than our tidy haircutted pals Jimmy and Billy. They battle against blokes with dog poo around their neck for possession of the legendary Double Dragon medallion.
Get the dragon!
Seriously, I urge anyone to watch this absolute mess. Hilariously, you can just find the entire film on YouTube itself because apparently whoever owned the copyright for it no longer gives the lightest of fucks, which probably tells you all you need to know about the excellent quality on offer. Final challenge then, and it's Way of the Warrior, a game that got absolutely tanked by reviewers in the last episode, but still managed to get a suspicious 72%, which definitely has nothing to do with it being a challenge in this episode.
What I'd like to do with you two is a little bit of Mr. and Mrs. here. So, Ian, if you'd like to put your hands over your ears, just so I'm going to ask Andrea a couple of questions about herself, see if Ian can answer the same questions with the same answers. Andrea, question one, what would you prefer to get, chocolates or flowers?
Chocolates.
Chocolates. And the second question is, are Ian's mates better looking than him?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Ian, you can take your hands off your ears now. Right, which would Andrea prefer, chocolates or flowers?
Chocolates, probably.
Was that what you said?
Yep.
1 for 1. Second question, I asked Andrea, are your mates better looking than you? What did she say?
Probably not.
No, she said they were. So we got half of them correct, not bad. Lock up your daughters because Dave Perry's in the pulpit. Dave, I've got to ask you about your leather jerkin. Do you get jogger's nipple?
I find a little bit of Vaseline in the mornings, no problem.
Now, tell us about the special moves of these two characters, Dave.
Well, this is one of my favourite 3DO games, and Fox is a voodoo man. He's got things like voodoo dust and magic stars.
Okay, we have got Ian playing Shaky Jake on the left-hand side. He's the guy with the stick and the hat. And Andrea is Fox, the big guy in the suit.
Oh, that was beautiful. Smashed Shaky Jake over his back.
Oh, Andrea's not hanging about, Dave, is she?
Okay, the fight itself is whatever, but what in the name of Red Hot Christ is happening in the background? Is that a dinosaur with a basketball sitting in a throne? Why is that happening? Can the one person who's played this game explain what I'm looking at?
Okay, we've got in the third and final bout. Shaky Jake on the left, that's Ian. Fox on the right, that is Andrea. First one again,
Shaky Jake always seems to start badly, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
And last time Fox made it count, he went in and finished him off.
He's got a lovely pole though.
He's got a lovely pole, yes he has.
I'm taking it. It might have been a weak one, but I've got a brand new cockerel here, and by the end of all of this, it better have a higher number than Series 3, or I'm just going to cancel Planet Earth.
Yeah, right, we'll start with you. You lost the first bit, but then you came hurtling back. Tell me about some of the moves you were doing.
Well, I did a throw in the first round, didn't really pull off, where he sort of put him on his back and just threw him down.
Like a back break,
and then
yeah.
I just did like face kicks and punches.
So basically, Ian, there's no shame in being beaten by a girl now, is there?
No, none at all.
None at all. So, in the name of equality, let's present the golden joystick to Andrea.
That's them off to have a domestic, and that's the end of this episode, so I guess we'll just do another one. Today's episode of GamesMaster promises an exclusive on Donkey Kong Country, and apparently this whole episode is a DK special.
Tonight's toppings include the first ever showing of Donkey Kong Country, and we're going to build up to this climax with our first challenge. So it's over to GamesMaster.
First challenge then is on the original Donkey Kong, and it's nice to see that they're at least bringing back some of the classics instead of dining out on some of the not so classics we've had for the past 4 series.
Begin with you, Chi. What's your favourite film?
True Lies.
True Lies. Are you a big Arnie fan then?
Yeah.
Simon.
Okay, it has to be said, Dom's crowd work is fucking awful. This is a comedian going on stage and with 50 jokes set up has none of the punchlines. Where was this line of questioning intended to go? It wasn't funny. It wasn't interesting. It was just, do you like a film? Yeah. Do you like the actor in that film? Yeah. Alright, moving on.
Finally, Alistair. When you're not playing video games, what do you like to do?
I like to go rollerblading.
What do you like about rollerblading?
It's fast.
Well, you've certainly convinced me that I think I'm going to go out and get one right away.
Yeah, no, my praise for episode 1 has been rescinded. You have to remember that I've boiled all of this down for you lot. I've had to actually sit here and watch every single second of this, day after day, toiling away in the banter mines to try and bring you back the riches you all deserve. But it's fool's gold, lads. It looks like comedy, and it walks like comedy, but it doesn't even evoke any emotion outside of, what? And so, as we're now 6 episodes deep and with barely a whiff of cocks on the counter, I'm going to introduce the patented Dom's Banter Barometer. It's currently sat at a very disappointing 0, and even that's being generous at this point. Let's have a look at the news.
November
November the 25th, we'll see the launch of a new Sega add-on that takes the normal Mega Drive and says, "Hello sir, would you like to be 40 times more powerful?"
No better way to start off a Donkey Kong special than with news on Sega's 32X.
Containing chips designed to produce fast 3D graphics, it's no surprise that the first 3 32X games are first-person perspective action games. First up, Star Wars. This polygon shifter has been making arcade players regularly change pants since it came out a few months ago. But did our punters poo theirs?
The graphic looks pretty much the same, I think.
Next up, we said if the kids didn't play Virtua Racing Deluxe, an enhanced version of the arcade game, we'd beat them with a stick.
This is close to the original arcade game.
Finally, they tried their luck at the Blood and Gore Fest Doom.
You could only play this on a PC before.
Sega expect to have 40 games out by next Easter, costing about 50 quid each, but the system itself costs 170 quid without any games, and you need a Mega Drive as well, so if you're poor, you might be stuffed. Right, we're just about to kick off the GamesMaster Donkey Kong special with the original Donkey Kong arcade game. Helping me out is GamesMaster's very own Andy Hutchison. Andy, I bet you know some crazy facts about this old classic.
Well, funnily enough, Dominic, this game is so old that the Queen Mother was the first person ever to get her name on the high score table.
God bless her. Okay, each contestant...
Wait, was that a laugh track?
This game is so old that the Queen Mother was the first person ever to get her name on the high score table.
God bless her. Okay, each contestant...
What is that noise? It can't be actual laughter. I refuse to believe that. Let's see how the kids get on with Mario's monkey capers.
And off goes Chi. Now, Hutch, if you were playing this, what would you be thinking now?
Well, I've been trying to get that mallet for a start. Get the mallet and you can bash those barrels.
She hasn't gone for the mallet though. Maybe as he tried, would it waste a bit of time maybe getting the mallet?
Well, possibly, yeah. I mean, waggle it about a bit.
Okay, he's nearly at the top now. This bit's going to get tricky though now.
That's right.
Just got to get up this final ladder and he's got to get up to Daisy there. Just one more thing, he's just going to go up this ladder. And he does it!
Solid effort. Next challenger.
And off for Simon. Now Chi's down 29 seconds. It's a good time, Andy. Do you think he could do quicker than that?
I think it can definitely be beaten because Chi messed around quite a bit on that middle level there.
Yeah. Oh, God! Sorry, going just a sec. He wasn't having any of this rolling stuff then.
That's right. You've got to watch out for these special barrels that are coming out. Slightly
it's
different
getting a bit congested here now. This is looking a bit tricky. 22 seconds gone.
Caught on the ladder.
Rubbish. Last one, and I don't like to stereotype, but this looks like the kind of kid that'll take Donkey Kong down without a hitch.
Okay, Alistair's Alistair. We've still got our time with 29 seconds, Hutch. Can you see Alistair doing it?
If he doesn't mess around, then I think he can guide Mario right up to the top there. It shouldn't be a problem.
This ladder there, though. He didn't take the middle ladder. That would have been quicker.
Well, given the timing of the barrels, that may actually be a shrewd move.
Okay, we're about halfway up. 18 seconds gone. He's going to have to go a lot quicker over the second half of the course.
He's going for it.
Up here, 25 seconds. It's going to be very close. 26, 27, 28, 28.
See, I told you, it's all in the glasses.
Yuichi, very, very unlucky. There was just 1 second in there. Where do you think you lost that vital second?
I think it was near the top. I kind of missed the ladder.
You dallied about a bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it proved to be crucial. Simon, you didn't really have time to dally.
No.
Did you? And where did you go wrong?
Again, as I was going up, look, I got hit by a barrel that was coming down.
Yep, you've literally just described what we saw. I'm not sure it needed clarification, but I'm glad he provided it for all the blind viewers currently sat wondering what the fuck's going on.
Alistair, 1 second in it. It was very close there. Were you confident you could do it all the time?
Yeah, I was.
Yep, and you're quite happy about winning the golden joystick?
Yeah.
Yep. Can we get that smile in camera 3?
Now that's better. A mild bit of ribbing for a kid with decent Donkey Kong skills and even fewer social skills. Straight onto the reviews it is, and first it's Street Racer, 90% minimum.
Street Racer came as a bit of a surprise.
Well, when you know, you know. 91%. Would have been nice to get a Mario Kart review to see where it stacks against it, but never mind. Straight onto Tiny Toon Adventures All-Stars game thing.
Hampton Pig is top winger extraordinaire.
Both the games are rather limited, and I think even younger kids are going to get bored of this pretty quickly. If you want a football game, get a proper football game, and likewise for basketball.
It's the real Barnet of children's cartoon-based football games, 75%. Lastly, we've got Indiana Jones on the SNES. It's basically the Star Wars games, but with a man who hates snakes.
The man with the hat is back. The hat is back. Indiana Jones Super NES. Indiana Jones Super NES. Indiana Jones Super NES. Indiana Jones Super NES. Indiana Jones Super Jones, Super NES, Indiana Jones, Super NES, Indiana Jones, Super NES.
Some nice graphics and indie.
Basically, it does the same for the Indiana Jones films as the Star Wars game did for Star Wars. If you like the Indiana Jones films and you're a big Star Wars games fan, then this could be for you.
83%? Probably about right. I've given up caring. Unfortunately, last week I missed that the Celebrity Challenge thing was an actual tournament again, because apparently they didn't learn their lesson from Series 3. So we've got another FIFA match, and because he's currently saying yes to literally anything going, Vinnie Jones is back. Again. And I can guarantee Dom's going to take his dentures out for this one.
Vinny, you've been on the show before. We know you're good at these games. You must be the favourite tonight, yeah?
Well, I've had about 10 minutes practice and Andy ain't had none, so it should be interesting.
But you always say you've only had a little bit of practice every time you come, but you always do well, no. And I have to say, though, Vinny, I'm a bit concerned, because I was reading in the papers the other day that you're getting a bit soft. Is this true?
Well, that might be married life. We'll have to see.
Yeah, keep your distance, lad. Those glasses won't stay in place with a broken nose.
Welcome back. Andy Townsend and Vinnie Jones are about to play the second semi-final in the GamesMaster FIFA 95 special. Holding my magic sponge is Simon Byron from the One. Simon, who do you think's got the edge tonight?
It's definitely Vinnie. He's already proved his games playing skills on the previous series. He's playing as Wimbledon. They've got better goalies and, funnily enough, better passing. So
no game can be 100% realistic.
True enough.
Okay, yes, they are definitely piping in weird, hellish laughter in lieu of an actual laugh track. Have they only just started doing this on this episode? Have I just not noticed it before? Regardless, it might clue us in on whether something is actually meant to be a joke or just a genuine question about crisps, so we can keep an ear out for it going forward. That's not the only audio change this week, mind. The sound levels for this match are so all over the place, I cannot understand a single word anyone's saying.
It's a free kick there to Villa. Free kick is taken up to number 50 from Villa. Skips the back, it's a short kick again, straight to a Wimbledon defender.
Just as well, really. Nobody can beat Vinnie Jones. Apart from this guy, because he just beat Vinnie Jones. Skipping past the consultation zone as usual, I stop for a moment to question why kids from the 90s can simultaneously look like teenagers and the middle-aged owner of a used car business, and then went straight onto features.
Summer CES 1994, and some put out of our actor has to dress like a monkey to announce the launch of Donkey Kong Country, Nintendo's flagship title this year, which is, shock horror, a platform game.
Oh yeah, this episode was about Donkey Kong, wasn't it? Absolutely fucking terrible theming. You can't declare something a Donkey Kong special and barely show him.
However, the difference with the latest Kong incarnation is that it's very physically attractive. There's 100 mini-adventure type levels, computer-rendered characters, and animation more lifelike than anything on a British rail buffet. Tim Stamper is not a terribly good-looking bloke, but is chief designer of the game.
Yeah, this feature is just another glorified advert, but one that didn't really show much of the game. Just as well the final challenge is on said game then.
Go! Okay, off goes Tim. In the top left-hand corner, you see the banana square flashing up. It's not that important for this. He's got Joey Kong Jr., so he's gone for the insurance. That means if he gets hit, he can carry on his Donkey Kong.
That's right, yeah. Square Barrel's got the Rhino in, which will lead you through to the bonus.
He took a better time than that.
There he is, there's the Rhino.
He's on the Rhino. This means he can get this bonus level.
That's right, he'll charge through this rock just here.
Okay, he's motoring now on the right. Looks like he's going to go faster on the right.
Oh, he's really screaming through. He missed that bonus spin.
35 seconds, okay. He's out the bonus level. Here he goes. 39, 40, 41.
Oh, big punch there.
We're near the exit now. Here he goes, 44. 46 seconds.
I'm not really sure there's much wiggle room on this. For the most part, you get the Rhino and you hold down right.
Go!
Okay, well I guess there is wiggle room. Don't go through the secret door. Now I'm invested. Is our last challenger going to learn from the previous two?
Go! The big question is, will he stop to pick up Donkey Kong Jr.?
Yes, he has stopped, but he took a long time to get in there. Coming up on that Rhino very shortly, and that's a very quick vehicle to get around.
Now he threw that barrel there again, that was wasting a bit of time. Oh, he's been hit with Donkey Kong Jr. now. That's going to waste some time, but he's on the Rhino. 25 seconds
He's lagging behind though. I've done it. He's the bonus level. He's definitely not.
Nope. No, he's definitely not. No.
You were a bit unlucky in that you had to go first, actually, weren't you?
Yeah.
Christian, you were very fortunate because you took a bit of a risk on up the top there, but it paid off.
Yeah.
And knowing that the bottom bonus level bit was slower, you still opted to choose it. Any reason why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Christian is the winner of the GamesMaster.
That laugh track is forever going to distract me going forward. I really want to go back and watch older episodes to see if it's definitely just turned up now, but I'm also exceptionally lazy, so we'll just move on to the next episode instead. Episode 7, and the first challenge is Lion King on the Mega Drive, that level with the monkeys. You know the one, it's literally the only one that anyone remembers, and yes, it is the first level. Make of that what you will.
Okay, Lewis, obviously, apart from GamesMaster, what other things do you like to watch on TV?
Some Australian soap operas.
Yeah, which ones are your favourites?
Neighbours.
Yeah, you watch Home and Away?
Not that much.
No? Right, let's go to you now. Michael, what are some of your hobbies then?
Remote control car racing.
Oh yeah, and where about do you live?
Chichester.
Chichester. So you play the remote control cars, but where about in Chichester?
We've got a field outside our house, so racing there.
Play them there.
At the moment it's being resurfaced, so we can't race.
That's progress. No, Michael. What about in the Chichester Cathedral? Do you ever play them in there?
Oh no, the vicar would kill me.
The vicar would kill you? I'd like to see how he'd explain that to his boss, though. Okay, right, well...
There's that fucking laugh track again, but I was very impressed with the banter about resurfacing the roads. Granted, most of the heavy lifting was done by the kid there, but if it wasn't for Dominic's excellent questioning, we would never have found out about it. This is the news!
This is the first bloke to embark on a new kind of Disney adventure. By using a tilting the carpet with his hands type situation, he can fly straight through a scene from Aladdin in Disney's first trip down virtual reality lane.
All well and good, but what about interactive goodies?
This week sees the latest addition to the GamesMaster network, live on-air chat. You can see it happening by turning to teletext page 476. That's within the digitizer section on channel 4.
Whoa, teletext and a CD online page. They're going places. This is the future, folk. Anyway, back to the challenge.
Right, we're in a Lion King challenge situation. Dave Perry is helping me out. Dave, the nation is yours. Tell them about the tricky parts in this challenge.
Well, there are two bits to look out for in this challenge. One is initially they'll go up a tree and they have to roar at the various monkeys to flip them around so that they get thrown in the right direction. Then after that they will land on an emu, 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 on an emu. No. Okay, of course, Lewis, you've got a little energy gauge in the top left-hand corner there. When that goes down the line, it's there, but most importantly, it's the time. We go for 8 seconds. A good start, Dave. He's doing very well. He jumped straight onto the rhino, got flipped up onto the giraffes. He hasn't fallen in the water. Of course, if he'd fallen in the water, that would have been the end of his challenge. Okay, now here come these monkeys. Now, what's he have to do? There he goes. He roared at the monkey. That scares the monkey. The monkey flips around on the tree, and it makes sure that it'll throw him in the right direction. That's it. All the monkeys are set now. Now he can be thrown about in the trees by the monkeys. He rolls up into a ball. Okay, very, very soothing, almost therapeutic, that, Dave. It is. It's very, very nice. And this monkey will drop him on the giraffe, and off he goes.
36 seconds gone.
This is very, very tricky. You have to watch out for the stumps sticking out of the trees.
He's going to get some arrows here to tell him yes. He's got arrows on the left hand side. Tell him what to do. 45 seconds gone.
He's going to go down here.
Down 48 seconds gone.
Tell exactly what he's doing. Whether he's going to jump.
2 arrows here, Dave.
2. That's a double jump. He's going to have to do.
Oh no, we got hit. Oh dear. So Lewis didn't even make it to the end.
That would have been a much faster film if Simba just got decapitated while riding an emu. Troma's Lion King needs to happen.
And he's on the giraffe.
He's got the monkeys right. He's rolled off the giraffe. Now he's on the emu.
Now he's got to pay attention here.
It's a nice easy ride at first, and then the troubles start.
Okay, he's up the first jump. Next one will be down.
Jumped over the animal, under the branch, over the next
this is the tricky one coming up, Dave.
This is very tricky. A double jump.
Jump 1, jump 2. He's done it.
He's made it. That was beautiful. That's beautiful. He's done it.
He's very nearly done it. But look at that little line icon to signal the halfway stage. 1 minute, 2 seconds. He's over the giraffe.
There's the line icon. Beautiful.
That means that Michael is the winner. Now, Lewis, you were going so well. I reckon you probably would have been actually quicker than Michael, but then it all went wrong. Tell us what happened. Never mind. Okay, well, yes.
That's another golden joystick. It seems sending people to the pits is a thing of the past as well. It's no fun seeing everyone win. I want to watch people fail spectacularly and get roundly kicked in the shins for it. Speaking of wanting to see people kicked in the shins, time for reviews, and first up it's Twisted, which is shite, but it'll get a decent review because at least it's weird.
There's one really annoying part in Twisted, and that's when you get stuck on the wheel of torture. You have to get out of this, you have to line up three beads in a row, and only then will you be able to carry on. I got stuck on there for absolutely hours, and all my mates were laughing at me.
I think it's more than that.
Christ, I knew it'd get a decent score, but that's tipping the scales a bit. Let's see what they think of Dynamite Heady, which, come on, treasure classic. It's bound to get 60%.
It's very colourful, it's very bright, and it's got some of the weirdest bosses you are ever going to see. It's got a huge, inflatable, giant pink sausage dog.
On the surface, Dynamite Heady is a straight platform game, but it doesn't take long to realise that there's a lot more going on in it. For a start, the head is the weapon, which is very strange, but there's also some very strange power-ups too, like you can turn your head into a bomb.
Dynamite Heady is the second game from Treasure, the people who brought you Gunstar Heroes last year on the Mega Drive. And it's of equivalent quality, fantastic looking game, amazing graphics, good slick gameplay, an excellent platform game and worthy of a place in anyone's collection.
Well, colour me shocked. Slightly better than Twisted it is. On with Samurai Showdown on the SNES.
Samurai Showdown first turned up on the Neo Geo about a year ago, and at the time it was one of the best beat-em-ups available. The Super Nintendo conversion is very accurate. The sprites are a little small, but it plays in exactly the same way, and you have all the same special moves.
The SNES version is 32 meg, compared with the Neo Geo's 130 plus meg. Obviously, something's got to go, and most of it has.
79%, not as good as Twisted. Something else not as good as Twisted is Thunder in Paradise Interactive.
Yes, it stars that bloke, these birds, and this boat. It's rather inexplicably a hit on American TV, and it's also the latest game being developed on the CDI, Thunder in Paradise.
Okay, kid, you're linked to Thunder's weaponry. Show us your stuff.
Thunder in Paradise is produced by the makers of Baywatch. Experts in the dumb bloke, fit bird, beach bikini, action drama.
When this thing first turned up on Bad Influence, I decided I'd one day review it, and then I played the first level for 5 minutes and realised it was so bad I couldn't even bring myself to get any further than that. It's that bad. Even I won't play it. Moving on to the final of our FIFA tournament then. For once, Vinnie Jones isn't back, so we've got two guys who have already forgotten.
Now, I know you're both on pre-match nerves, so we'll keep this brief. Casey, what are your tactics for the final?
Score. Well, hopefully I'll score myself.
Now, mixing things up a bit, the lads are playing FIFA on the 3DO, which, as none of you know, looks like this. So that's filled a gap in your gaming knowledge. Anyway, football happened, and this guy won 5-1. It was probably exciting.
Casey, you said before the challenge your tactics were to score and win. So you're batting 0 for 2. At the moment, what happened?
Absolute nightmare in the back.
Just like me on a Saturday morning. Go away, football men, and no more football for the rest of the series. Thank you very much. Wait, is this still a Donkey Kong special? Is this a special at all? It's very hard to tell. Regardless, let's do an obligatory skip past the consultation zone where Stephen King asks for advice on Super Drop Zone, and we'll go straight into our feature of the week.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I'm a football manager-aholic, and basically I play them until about 4 in the morning every morning, and I see myself as really the new Aussie Ardiles, really.
More football? Gods above!
As Aussie Ardiles knows, picking the right team is essential. You want a nice blend of skill and brawn with no Mickey Hazard. Players are rated in categories such as passing, heading and flashness of motor.
I want good, hard stats in a game. The stats I want to know is, can a defender tackle? Can a midfielder pass? And more importantly, can a striker put the ball in the back of the net?
I've got to say, there's something so bright and inviting about old-school football management games. Modern management sims are all very serious and miserable looking and just full of numbers, while the old ones were, well, they were also just full of numbers, but they had pixel art. Okay, I'm not really convincing myself of my own argument here. The main thing is that I think I'm probably right. Also, the episode just ended. I'm not sure what happened to the final challenge, but apparently you don't get one this week. Moving on then.
Welcome to GamesMaster, where it's hotter than a pair of Tabasco-flavoured pants.
You're not fooling anyone, Jack.
Power Drive is the first challenge, and it's a challenge that's sort of like watching people learn to drive for the first time, and I'm just crossing my fingers that they'll all be hilariously shit.
Now, Ricky, we asked you before the show which video game character you fancied. You said none because you have a girlfriend. What's your girlfriend like?
Good looking and attractive.
Really? And what's her name?
Emma.
Would you like to say hello to her?
Hi.
I bet she's really impressed now with that one, actually, Ricky. I think you'll have a long and fruitful relationship now. Mervyn, what's this on your jacket?
Ecstasy.
I bet you think you're really hard because you've got that on, don't you? All right, thank you, Mervyn. Tom, how you doing?
All right.
Now, Tom, you also said you're quite into music as well. What sort of bands do you like?
I'm in the Nirvana.
Nirvana. Can you sing at all, Tom?
No, not really.
Because they're looking for a lead singer now, aren't they?
Jesus Christ, this is only 7 months after he popped his top. With a better delivery, this would have flown close to the sun, but it could have come out as an edgy elbow nudge. I'm unsure where it lands, honestly. You can make your own decisions on that. I'm still just trying to calibrate this newfangled banter barometer. It didn't come with any instructions, so we'll leave it where it is and see how things continue. Anyway, never mind. Here's some news that'll absolutely blow your brains out.
Star Wars programmers JVC are busy beavering away on a video game version of the soon-to-be-released movie based on Dark Horse comic Time Cop.
Oh, sorry, I meant here's some news that will upset you deeply.
This is Mainframe, setting for the first 100% computer-generated TV series. Reboot stars Bob, Guardian of the Mainframe, his mates the Data Sprites, and official nasty bloke Megabyte.
What I ask is a simple favour. You put us through more of this.
The 13-episode series has been 3 years and thousands of computer hours in the making. Those weird blue and green blokes and birds will be on ITV after Christmas, though I reckon the one-handed George and Zippy from Rainbow would have these guys in a fight.
I am now wondering if I can get hold of the entire series of Reboot. We'll hold that thought while this guy sits in his bedroom with a camcorder and tells us something that's probably important about the Sega Saturn, but as I can't hear a word coming out of his mouth, I guess we'll never know.
On Thursday I heard we had our Saturns in Hong Kong. On Friday I had them shipped out to me to Heathrow. On Saturday morning at 5 a.m.
I'm sorry, what?
About the challenge now, Steve, what's the toughest part of the course?
It's the second to last bit. There's this spiral of cones and you've got to manoeuvre the car through without actually hitting any. For every cone you hit costs you valuable time. As you've only got a minute anyway, you can't afford to do that.
That's right, each contestant has 1 minute in which to complete the course. The contestant who finishes it in the quickest time will win the joystick. Ricky's going first. Ricky, if you are ready, then off you go. Okay, off goes Ricky. You can see the time in the top left-hand corner of the screen. What's this first obstacle?
The first part, he's got to brake with a set of wheels either side of that line, which he's already done. He's done it in very good time.
Very quickly.
Next, he's got to reverse the car into a rectangle on the right, but he seems to be going the wrong way.
Oh dear.
Not a good move.
Now he's doing it.
I think VSM should be told. Oh!
Yes, this is what I live for.
Oh, what's he doing?
No.
He's all over the shot. He's got 20 seconds, 40 seconds left.
I think I recognise my nan's driving there.
Oh dear, this is terrible. He's in there now.
The flag's gonna, yep, the flag's up. He's now got to negotiate a really winding road. This is another easy bit, but after this lies the cones.
Wibbly wobbly bits ahoy, Steve.
Indeed, and appallingly
now
negotiated. Here come the cones.
Now everyone he knocks over, he gets seconds added on.
He's really stuffed this up.
Left.
Truly great television. Peak Series 4 for me so far. I could watch this all day.
He's ahead of Ricky on the split times. Now wiggly wobblies.
Indeed. Not too good at the old cornering, I'm afraid.
And now finally the curly wobblies. He's got 35 seconds left though, Steve. Can he do it?
It'll be tight. He's got to go faster than this though. I mean, he's practically in reverse. He has to speed up a little bit. As soon as he touches that X in the middle, all the cones disappear.
Yeah, well, it looks like this guy's actually doing pretty fucking yes! This is the best thing I've ever seen.
But his new car doesn't take any damage, does it?
No, it doesn't. It just slows you down. You can do about it.
Now the cones. He's got 30 seconds to set a couple. 25 seconds left now. He's going to
has to hit that X. As soon as he hits that X, all the cones disappear.
I think he's going to do it, Steve. He doesn't do it either. Bad luck, Mervyn, and bad luck, Tom. Okay, now you first of all, Ricky. That wasn't terribly good, was it, Ricky?
Nah.
I've got a bit of bad news as well. You remember your girlfriend?
Yeah.
You know she's dumped you now.
Nah.
Yeah. Why? So that means that Ricky, Mervyn and Tom, no joysticks, so back into the cage.
Now, I did complain previously that there's no more pit to send crap players into, but actually there is. There's this cage. They put PJ and Duncan in there, but because they did it so unceremoniously, I just didn't pay any attention to it. Sorry about that.
Now, while our challengers argue over who can pull the most birds following their TV appearance...
This must be in the running for the show with the most mention of birds and pulling birds. I think it's even given Bottom and Men Behaving Badly a run for its money. It's like 15 times an episode at this point. I can actually feel my virginity starting to grow back in. Let's get on with the reviews. First, it's Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure. Mayan?
Pitfall 2, The Mayan Adventure, is a slick little platform game. It's actually based on an Atari VCS game called Pitfall 1, obviously, which was written 13 years ago. Fortunately for you lot, that's actually hidden inside this game, the complete Atari VCS game, with crap sound and crap graphics.
It's not really taking it any much further than, say, Jungle Book or Lion King. But it's a nice game nonetheless. There's lots to interact with, lots of nice weapons to use. You can use your boomerang or your slingshot with pebbles. And there's some nice ways that they integrate you with the landscape.
If Earthworm Jim was the king of the jungle, then Pitfall would be a scrag-tag little puppy dog.
Adrian, leave Earthworm Jim alone. It's getting weird. 81% for Pitfall. I'm surprised the platform game fatigue hasn't kicked in yet. Give it time. Virtua Racing Deluxe is next, or if you're Dom...
Virtua Racing Deluxe.
I don't think I've ever heard Deluxe pronounced that way before. Or have I? Am I saying it wrong? Deluxe. Deluxe. No, I hate it. Deluxe it is. Anyway, this will get 90% minimum, calling it.
If Earthworm Jim was the king of the jungle...
Adrian, stop.
Mega 32X is really showing what it can do here, and this is a fast playable racing game. And with split screen mode, it's fantastic fun for 2 players as well.
Am I good or am I good? Bang on the money. Next is Newman Haas IndyCar Nigel Mansell Hot Car Old School Driving Time Racing.
Newman Haas IndyCar Challenge featuring Nigel Mansell. Newman Haas IndyCar Challenge featuring rubbish graphics and terrible gameplay, more like.
Tell me Virtua Racer has spoiled you without telling me Virtua Racer has spoiled you.
Earthworm Jim.
These days, to have a successful racing game, it really needs to be full polygonized 3D, like, of course, Virtua Racing on the Mega 32X.
Okay, I'll just actually say it. 60% for this exceptionally long-titled game no one wants to play. Straight over to the Celebrity Challenge. The game is, disappointingly for everyone, Clay Fighter 2 on the SNES. And even more disappointingly, the guest fight isn't going to be Morph versus the dog from Hilltop Hospital. It is, instead, going to be whoever the fuck these guys are from whatever the fuck Emmerdale is.
Alright, Camilla, welcome to the show. Right, Ian, first of all, why is it that there's so many fit birds and blokes on Emmerdale now?
Birds and blokes?
Birds and blokes.
Yeah, I really should have clocked this earlier and swapped the cock counter out for a bird counter. A cock is a type of bird. We could have easily gotten away with it. I'm genuinely starting to think Bill Oddie's on scripting duties.
We have 2 of the finest members of the Emmerdale Brat Pack, Ian Kelsey and Camilla Power, with us about to do the do on Clay Fighter 2. With me, I have a very patriotic-looking Dave Perry, actually.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
Absolutely.
Dave, who pushes your buttons, the Emmerdale girls or their Australian soap counterparts?
I'd have to say the Aussie girls. I'm sorry, but I'd find it a bit hard to be romantic with anybody with cow manure under their fingernails.
All right, thank you, Dave. I know romantic at heart. Dave, tell us, what's the strengths and weaknesses of the characters we're going to see?
Well, Camilla's going to be playing as Gugu, who's a large, bad baby, and she has a big rattle.
What the hell was that camera shot?
Which is very useful for long-range attacks. It's hard to get close to her. But Ian will be playing as Kangagoo, and he has a dashing punch. He's very fast, and she races...
Okay, Camilla is playing Gugu, who's the baby on the left. Ian is playing Kangagoo, who's the kangaroo on the right. You can see the energy bars at the top of the screen. And it's Ian making the early running, Dave.
Well, Ian seems to have worked out some of the special moves. He's got the multiple punch move there, flailing his arms about.
It still blows my mind that Clay Fighter got 2 sequels. 3 if you count the tournament edition on the SNES, 4 if you count the Sculptor's Cut on the N64. Who on earth was buying this? It's bedwettingly mediocre.
And he's doing some serious damage. Gugu's going in now with the high kicks, trying to get back into it, but it's not going to happen. Oh, rattles on the chin, that'll do it, but no! There's the Joey.
The winner is Ian.
I actually, I really like Ian, and I thought, well, it wouldn't be fair for him to be shown up by a girl on telly, so basically, I let him win.
And we believe that, don't we?
Of course you do.
Well, sorry, 5 of us believe you. Anyway.
Is it just me, or has the laugh track now vanished? Did they just use it for 2 random episodes? What is happening with this series? Straight over to today's features, and it's more FMV gaming.
The latest game to occupy the joypads of hapless Mega CD owners is Supreme Warrior, a martial arts beat-em-up featuring the kind of live-action full-motion video that makes the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers look like Kozlovsky's 3 Colours Red. Using first-person Legends of the Ring style play, you've got to slog your way past various martial arts adversaries to find a magical mask.
Facing the camera, who's actually our cameraman with this really long...
Okay, that's enough about your sex life.
But instead of just sitting there sort of like little zombies, they'd actually be interacting with some very positive characters.
And you don't get more positive than this bird.
God damn it, I really should have started a bird counter. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do our homework. Strap yourselves in. I'm going back in time.
Birds. 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 Bird trouble. Bird. Birds. 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 Bit bird. That bloke's bird. Birds. Birds. Bit birds and blokes. Bird. Birds. This bird.
Right, that's us up to speed. Don't say I don't do anything for you. Actually, I don't even know what you want, and frankly, I simply wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I hadn't done this. Oh, and the episode just ended again. Third challenges are a few episodes ago, apparently. We're halfway through the series, and that means we're on the final episode of this video. And the first challenge is Super Star Wars. Or one of the Super Star Wars games anyway, I wasn't really listening.
Are you a big Star Wars fan?
No, not at all.
Who's your least favourite character in the films?
Probably the princess.
What don't you like about the princess?
See her hair, it's wrapped around her ears.
Is it those old Cornish pasties on the thing? It's a bit silly. Okay, well, hopefully, Richard, you'll be a big Star Wars fan, yes?
No.
This is one of the most formative experiences of my childhood you're talking about, Richard. What don't you like about it?
It's all plastic.
No, that's just Mark Hamill in the lead role. I think you'll find.
Okay, this was much better banter, but unfortunately the laugh track has also reappeared. Fingers crossed he's had 7 episodes to get into the groove and now his interview techniques will actually make sense or lead somewhere. Straight onto the news then, it's Martian Raiders, very briefly, for no real reason, and then onto online gaming.
Once upon a time, Mr. Sega had a plan. By linking up with Mr. AT&T, they would give Sega stalwarts a chance to play games head-to-head down the phone lines. It was called Edge 16, it had specially written technology. It was a great idea, but it's been cancelled, possibly because of cheesy advert ideas like this.
I'm a marketing specialist from AT&T Consumer Products. How would you like to play a video game over the phone while talking at the same time? No way!
Agreed, but what's this thing?
If you know a sad, dull family of passive TV punters, you can eradicate their ennui with the two-way TV, which lets you interact with your fave TV shows.
Okay, so I had to look further into this as I've never heard of it before. I can find an article about them doing a trial in 700,000 homes in Birmingham, and the boxes were definitely on sale at some point, but I have literally never come across anyone that's ever owned one. It seems the company went on to produce other interactive stuff for digital TV, and then went into administration in the early 2000s. So that's that.
Now, before we get all Jedi'd up, let's have a few pearls of wisdom from Steve Merritt from Mean Machine. Steve, why is it that Mark Hamill can't get any other work?
See, it's funny that he brings up this jab at Mark Hamill at this particular time, because Hamill would have just finished up doing voice work on what is probably his most celebrated series outside of Star Wars, Batman the Animated Series. To be fair to Diamond here, without the world of information at your fingertips, if you didn't see an actor on screen, you'd just assume that was it. They'd gone, they were done. But Mark Hamill, more than any actor I can think of, has worked pretty much consistently since 1970. The man hasn't stopped a day in his life.
Okay, off he goes. He shouldn't worry too much about killing any of the bad guys.
Speed is of the essence. What he could have done, Dominic, was he could have gone left, and there's loads of bonuses hidden. As it is, he's taken a really difficult route, but there's loads of monsters and nothing to collect.
He's chosen not to do that. He's only collected 6 Jedi juice pills. Well, it's got up to 9 now. 23 seconds, halfway through the time now.
Not a chance. I think that's his luck.
Well, they appear to have absolutely no faith in this lad, and as they've given away all the top tips during their narration, it'll be interesting to see if the next challenger just follows all of that advice to the letter.
Now, Steve, 13, is that going to be difficult for Richard to beat?
No. I should imagine.
Okay. Richard, if you're ready, let your challenge begin. Of course, Richard's 45 seconds.
I can't believe he's gone right.
No, he immediately goes right. Does anyone actually learn anything on this show?
He's left, he needs 2 more Jedi juice pills.
He's missed one.
Oh, no!
If he gets stuck between those, they keep batting himself between each
Ugh, what a display. Bring back episode 1, or that driving game from the previous episode. I want absolutely amazing or fucking shite.
Now, Goldie, bad luck. At what point did the force desert you?
Probably at the end when I went the wrong way.
Yeah, not really advisable, is it, Goldie? Richard, I didn't think you were going to do it, actually. Towards the end, it was getting a little bit hairy. What was the difference in the end?
I slapped the force.
You certainly did.
He certainly did what?
I slapped the force.
He slabbed the force.
I slapped the force.
He slapped the force? What on earth is he saying? Also, just to point out, when people win a golden joystick, they also go back in the cage. So technically there isn't a pit of shame after all. Disgusting. Anyway, here's a Donkey Kong Country review. 95%? It's got to be around there.
The first thing that's going to hit you about Donkey Kong Country is, of course, the graphics, and they are stupendous. It's all been done on Silicon Graphics workstation, so all the sprites are really nicely rounded and ray-traced characters.
There are various methods of transportation which Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong can get around with. There's Rambi the Rhino, which he goes around banging them with his horn. And there's also On Guard the Swordfish on the underwater level. It's very good, and I'm sure it's going to do very well this Christmas.
Graphics, as you can see, are fantastic. The music too is brilliant, and it's a very, very big game. The only problem is it's very, very easy. You will finish it on day 1 or day 2.
Okay, complaining that Donkey Kong Country is easy pretty much gives away the fact that these reviewers have either barely touched these games or haven't played them at all. I've never once heard someone complain that Donkey Kong Country is too easy. In fact, most of the complaints I see about it are the exact opposite. Anyway, 90%, I now trust no one. Onto Micro Machines 2, which again, 90% minimum or we riot.
Gentlemen, start your engines. Micro Machines 2 is here, and there's more miniature madness as you race around tiny surfaces with your tiny cars.
Micro Machines 2 from Codemasters is not only a fantastic 4-player racing game, you won't even have to buy a multi-tap to play it. It has 2 extra joypad ports built into the cartridge.
In terms of actually updating Micro Machines 1, really it's just the extra players that adds to it, and of course the new tracks. The fact that you can get more people playing Micro Machines is always a good thing.
You're safe this time, GamesMaster. Now it's the 3DO FIFA's chance to shine.
It has multiple camera angles. It actually looks like you're watching a real game of football at some moments. However, the game itself isn't as fluid and slick as the original FIFA on Mega Drive.
We've seen FIFA suffer on the Mega Drive and on the SNES, but really you couldn't have done anything like this on either of those consoles. This is really a next generation game, and I think it's going to be the one that really sells with 3DO over here.
84% for FIFA, never heard of it. Celebrity guest time, and the game this week is a rugby game, which, has there ever actually been one of these games that people enjoyed, apart from that Jonah Lomu one, which seemed to be everywhere in 1997, and then that was the end of that. Regardless, we've got some rugby men, who I know even less of than the football men, so this should be a kettle of pish.
We've got 15 players in each team. Presumably you'll only be using 10?
Exactly. If that's the way to win a game, that's the way to win it, as far as I'm concerned. But no, a lot was talked about. Obviously, England can't score tries. I think we showed a little bit with the Welsh game with Rory getting a try.
Yeah. And the thing is, England can't score tries. The problem is Scotland can't score penalties either.
Sports. But wait up, who the fuck is this guy?
We're about to have a reenactment of the climax of last season's Five Nations. We've got our special guest, Rupert Moon from Wales and Debbie Morris of England. Playing Billy Bowman to my Nigel Starmer-Smith, we have Josh Bilson from Total.
Can't just turn up unannounced halfway through the 9th episode. You're upsetting the natural order of things. Anyway, here's some rugby. And that's enough of the rugby. Let's see who won.
I'm pretty sure I counted 3 passes in a row from England to the. Is this something you're trying?
That's fine coming from a Scot. No, it'll definitely be our chance now down in Cardiff next year. We'll get revenge.
Well, thanks very much for joining us today, guys. Cheers. And you may not have got the Grand Slam, but you do now have, Rupert, the Golden GamesMaster joystick!
Time for features.
With titles like Monkey Island and The Day of the Tentacle in their back catalogue, LucasArts are easily the #1 PC publishers on Earth. I went to their offices in San Francisco to see what they had in store for 1995. Full Throttle is the latest and spankiest of LucasArts animated adventure games.
Now that my bike's fixed, I can finally get out of this town. Only problem is, I need some gas.
You play Ben, a swarthy-looking hardcore biker type, and your mission is to track down a killer, clear your name of a murder rap, and save a motorcycle manufacturer from going bust, and still get home in time for Grange Hill. Now, Larry, you're the lead animator on Full Throttle. What's different about Full Throttle than previous LucasArts games you've done the animation and art for?
Fun times. Final challenge then, because we do have one this week. It's the excellent King of Fighters 94, which I'd be quite excited about if I wasn't expecting an absolutely horrendous fight from two people who've never seen this game before in their life.
All right, Stephen, we were talking beforehand, and you said that your favourite film was actually exactly the same as mine, bizarre enough, St Elmo's Fire. Who's the coolest person in St Elmo's Fire?
Judd Nelson, definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm more of a sort of Rob Lowe man.
Nah, I'm not for me. He's a bit of a wussy, you know what I mean?
Do you remember the thing all the boys used to do in St Elmo's Fire? What was it? Booga, booga, booga. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And ready to start the hearts of the female population fluttering is Dave Perry. Dave, the big question is, what is your hair like underneath the bandana?
I don't actually have hair, it's electrodes and things like that going to a microprocessor, but you don't want to know about any of that, really.
I don't have hair either, but it's just baldness. Now, this is a tag situation we're in, Dave. Who for you has got the strongest pair?
Well, Steve's chosen the USA side, which is full of athletes like Brian Battler, the American football player, and Heavy D, the basketball player. But Michael has South Korea, and they have the formidable Chang Ko-hun with his chain with a big ball on the end, which he wields about his head.
Okay, now we want to the second. Now, each team's got 3
In comes
competitors, but it's the first person to lose 2. So basically, Stephen's got to win this with Heavy D.
But Chang Ko-hun, the poorly figure of Chang Ko-hun, he is extremely formidable. He has that chain to wield about, and he has some real
Stephen's
power.
going to get a bit better, Dave, because I'm a bit disappointed, to be frank.
Well, to be honest, he's not really getting into it, is he?
His energy's good, and he's going to lose this already.
He really is a definite contender for the gaming hall of shame, and already he's over on his back.
Yeah, that was exceptionally one-sided, so at least we got half the display of skill. That's better than nout.
Stephen, we were getting along really well.
Yeah.
Talking about the films we like. Now, unfortunately, after that, I'm going to have to mention your hair.
You are, and I'm going to have to mention your neo-Nazi cut as well.
You are. Oh, I'm going to be stabbed by your rapier wit there, Stephen.
Well, what a way to end this half of the series. Accusations of neo-Nazi haircuts and a begrudging handing over of the golden joystick. And just as I start the bird counter off, Diamond doesn't even flap his wings once this episode. They're certainly keeping me on my toes. And let's summarise, because this truly was a mixed bag of, wow, that's a lot better, and please end me, I'm awash with misery. Diamond's new approach to the show, removing the cheeky, friendly chat back and replacing it with a cat fight that somehow also doesn't have any claws. I'm not sure if the banal elements of the banter were an attempt at subversion, or they really had absolutely nothing left on the cutting room floor, so they just left in pointless conversations that didn't go anywhere. It certainly is a vibe, but to give them their due, this was, in effect, a reboot. It was a reboot for the show, now that Oi, GamesMaster had left. It was a reboot for the set, sending it straight to hell where it belonged. And it was a reboot for Dominic Diamond, both in terms of coming back, but also in his personality. Yes, a reboot. A reboot. It was all a reboot. A reboot. Reboot. Reboot.
Their hopes and dreams.
Oh fuck, it is all available.
Think about it.